Welcome back, everybody. Today we're looking at the pitch block. This is probably the most requested demo video I've had so far, so I want to take my time and really get into it. I will try to spread this out over a couple of videos so that we can get the most out of it. Let's get going. Here's a dry guitar sound. So I'm playing a PRS SC245. That's the USA C++ with a Roya 121 impulse on a V30 cab from the excellent bipolar cab pack, available from the Fractal store, shot by Justin York from Paramore. This is my favorite cab pack. Sounds awesome. All the mic placements are really, really good, and I figured I'd give it a bit of a plug because I've got a lot out of them. I think you guys would as well. Anyway, let's get back to the pitch block. I've dialed up the classic Whammy to start with. There are 9 different effect types in the pitch block, and we're going to do them one by one. Let's start with the classic Whammy. Let's just have a listen to what happens when I turn the block on. Well, that's pretty cool. It gives me an octave up. If I go to mode, I can change that. I can make it go down 1 octave. And if I change the mix amount, let's set that to 100% and have a listen to what that does. So you can have a listen that this is just octave up or down, or 2 octaves up or down, of course. Where this really comes alive is using this control button to obviously control the pitch the way you would use it with a real Whammy pedal. Now, if you've got an expression pedal, something like the Fractal EV1, or I'm using a Mission SP1, all you have to do to assign that to the control, right-click this to bring up the modifier menu, connect it to external number 1, and you are good to go. So let's have a listen to what happens when I've got an expression pedal connected. This is where the fun really begins. And because I have this set on poly mode, I can do chord bends. Another trick is to have a look at the pitch source. Because I'm running the pitch block first in line and there's no other effects feeding into it, I find that it sounds a little bit better to have the pitch source set to local. If you're running the pitch block after the amping cab, definitely set this to global, otherwise it will sound really, really glitchy and unpleasant. So setting that to local, we'll have a listen to what happens with the chord bends. And of course, this is super fun if you set it to go up an octave. I'm going to play you a little loop that I prepared earlier and solo over it. So have a listen to this. This is really fun. See if you recognize the tune I'm trying to replicate. That's just one example of what you can do with the classic whammy block. Going on to a couple of other things, if you want it to track even better again, set pitch track to mono. You won't be able to bend chords. It will sound pretty ugly like so. Let me turn this delay block off first. And of course, you can set the mix. I like it at about 50%, so I still get some of that dry guitar signal in there. This is particularly useful if you're using this for the octave down. And I guess that concludes all the controls on the classic whammy block. You do a couple of other things, such as set the control source to be some other type of modifier. You might want to set it, for example, to the scene, and that would let you control the amount of pitch per scene. You can assign it to an external control switch, which will let you do cool things like have a kind of whammy auto ramp up. I'll give you an example of that. You set it to control switch, you adjust the damping a little bit. This will be the ramp up time. Let's set that to around 77. And I'm going to put the control switch over here. Control switch number 1. There we go. You won't be able to see me pressing this, but have a listen to this. And you can do some crazy effects with that one. So now that we've had a look at that, I mean, you can assign it to the pitch control, which is really, really wacky. Have a listen to this. So it's shifting it by an amount proportional to the note you're playing. Wacky, I know. Anyway, that's the classic whammy block. We're going to have a look at some of the other blocks in upcoming videos. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please consider subscribing.